Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Ifeoluwa, and um, this video is going to be like, I really hope it's quite short, but I just want to express my thought. I want to um, share my experiences as well, and to just say one or two things about what has been going on for some days now. Thanks to those of you who reached out to me to say something about this and to share my experience as someone who was a border at one point. Anyway, thank you to those who reached out and asked for my opinion on this matter, because sincerely I wasn't even feeling up to filming any video for this week. But this is just weighing too much. It's weighing too much on my heart. It's weighing too much in the heart of my subscribers as well. And I'm just seeing the way this story is tilting towards, and some of it I'm not pleased with, some I'm pleased with, and I just want to say a few things about it. Yes, it is sad. It is, I don't know any other words to even use to describe the feeling of losing that young, vibrant, and promising boy. Like, it's not like a natural death, it's something that could have been avoided. And having to die in the hands of kids as well is just so, it's confusing. It's scary that kids of same age bracket can do something like that to their fellow kids or their fellow friends or their fellow colleague or classmates or whatever it is, and they're not scared. Like they're not bothered about it. They're not, I don't know what was going through their mind while they were doing their act. I mean, beating somebody up just because you want them to join you or join whatever society it is. It's a secondary school, for crying out loud. What kind of cult, like what kind of society would they have wanted to form? What alliance? Tell me, what party? That you are now, like they have a society and you want another person to join, and just because the person says no, you beat up the person, feed him with harmful substances to the extent of losing his life. I mean, it's just somehow. It's just somehow. I don't know the kind of kids we are raising in this generation. I don't know what going on through their minds. What are they exposed to? It's something that is of concern, a huge concern. And trust me, it's also something that calls, like, is like a wake-up call for parents. You just have to do better. You have to train your kids better. You have to be better at everything you're doing. Because I can't imagine. I mean, these children that killed somebody, they also have parents. I want to believe they have African mothers that have different type of disciplinary measures in their hands. So where or how did it go wrong? Like, how did these kids get to just go out of normal behavior of kids? You understand? Like, that is even something that is giving me concern. The fact that it's young people, like, how old are they? No, how old are they that they know that this is the way to threaten someone? This is what you need to threaten the person. You have to beat somebody up. There's the society. How old? How did they come to that point? And sincerely, it's sad we lost the boy. It's sad that it takes the death of that boy for us to be able to talk about this issue now. Because trust me, bullying has been from time began. Like, it had happened for so long. And for like, at the point I felt like seniority was something that has stopped, because I feel that was what we called it then when we were in boarding school. We call it seniority. So I never knew it has now changed to bullying. So it has always been with us, but I felt like it was becoming minimal because people are becoming civilized. People are becoming more aware of the fact that you cannot just be inhuman just because you are a senior or you are a prefect or that. I mean, that's what usually happened. Like when I was in boarding school, that what happened. And I'm not going to mention name. I'm not even here to call anybody out. If you are that person I'm talking to and you're watching this video, let your guilty conscience judge you. Whatever the case, you're the one that know. But I remember being in a all girls boarding school, and one of the senior called me one day because I always like to do tomboy. So she called me one day and she said she wanted me to be a 37 partner. For those of you that do not go to federal school and do not know the meaning of 37 partner, it means lele partner, like a lesbian. Or basically, that's what it means. And I said no. and she made me fetch water. Like she brought a bucket and she said I should fetch water with a teaspoon from the school tap back to the hostel. Now, if I should stay, I'm not good with all these kilometer and miles, but like the school from the school tap to the hostel, I wish I'm good in all these miles and kilometers. Like it's really, really far, and I had to be fetching water with teaspoon. You know how, like, you know what that means? All because you wanted me to be your lesbian partner, and I said no. That I had to use teaspoon to fetch water. I had to wash plates for all the dormitories in the senior hostel just because you made a request and I said no. And for those of you that had now turned this debate into why should a parent send their children to boarding school is better to day school and stuff like that, I would say that whatever rocks your boat, please do. I went to a boarding school and I never regretted going to a boarding school. Like I never regretted going to boarding school. I loved the fact that I went to boarding school. Of course, going to boarding school then was just because my sisters were in boarding school at that time, and I see the way my parents, package their provisions, their clothes, and all those things, and they go for like 3 months, and then I'm the only one in the house, and I'm the only one doing everything, washing the plates, sweeping, and everything. So I decided that means I want to go to boarding school because I also want to have provisions. I want to be able to take care of myself, even at that young age. And yes, I went to boarding school. Was it easy? No, it wasn't. A lot of seniority and stuff like that, but it made me strong. It made me responsible for myself. I was more organized because we have inspections every Saturday. It's like basically boarding school just helped me a lot. Okay. And I do not even feel that we need to use this issue to start criticizing parents who sent their children to boarding school or who did not send their children to boarding school. The point where I feel we need to do more, like the place where I feel like we need to do better, or the place where I feel like we even need to be laying emphasis on, is training your children. Like parents, train these young ones that the Lord have entrusted into your hands, because whatever way they turn out to be, they will trace them back to their roots. They will trace, because I cannot just imagine these kids that beat up another kid. What kind of training, like what kind of thing do they have to go through? And a lot of things happen. Some might be from abusive home. Some might be the fact that parents do not just have time because they feel like they need to hustle and everything. They just hustle and put food on the table. You put children in school, from school to after school, from after school to after school, then after school the nanny is picking up again, and by the time you get home, you don't even see your children, and your excuse is you're hustling because you want to put food on the table for them, you're hustling because you want to clothe them. They need attention. Okay, they need attention, they need discipline. There are some traits that some kids exhibit while they are growing up that you know that, see, this one, if you not handle it with your hand, this one will turn to something else. And then with help of God and African style of discipline, of course, you'll be able to mold that kind of a child. You understand? But if you are not there, with the excuse that you're struggling or hustling to put money on the table, or you're trying to put food on the table, clothe them, send them to the best school, they will come back to disgrace you, because they will just have to track them. They'll have to trace them back to their origin. Who had this parent? Look at this story that has been going on. The first question, when I heard about it, the first question on my mind was, who were the parents of these kids? Like, I really need to say the parents of these kids, because what happened? And also, parents, please, you need to pay attention to your kids, because there are way kids show to you that they want to talk to you. Don't just think that every child that complains to you about school is because they do not want to go to school. I understand that, yes, kids can be smart in their own way. They try to formulate excuses and everything. But as a parent that has spent time with their children, that understand the traits of their children, you know that if he or she is saying something like this, then you need to pay attention to it. Don't just sweep it under the carpet that he doesn't want to go to school, or cover it under the umbrella of I've prayed. Like, I don't even want, like, there's even a lot of instances I would have used, but I just don't want to break anything right now because it could affect a lot of people. But just pay attention to your children. If your child comes home today and complains to you that, oh, mommy, something happened in school, or daddy, my friends did this, did that, even if she's been mischievous or something, make your findings, okay? Make your findings. If at the end of the day she's actually pulling stunts because she doesn't want to go to school, then you discipline her for lying. But it's different from when you now say she doesn't want to go to school, and that's her own way of pretending and no doesn't want to go to school. So therefore, you're not now going to take whatever your child tells you. You're not going to take it into consideration or make your findings. Because for me, I just feel like a child that is being bullied, it doesn't just start in a day. They just don't pick on you in a day. Like I remember the first time the first time I started boarding school, the first day my daddy dropped me, I chopped like Mojegbati, like I was slapped. My dad has not even got it to the gate. Once in there and slapped me because they call me charity house girl. And I told the senior my name is not house girl, my name is Ifeoluwa. And she slapped me for what? Like, guys, I just feel we need to do better with the way we raise our children. We need to pay attention to these kids. We need to pray more because the fact that this era of civilization, where children of 10 years old now know the way they can kill somebody and even cover it up, we need to pay more attention to these kids, what they watch. Of course, we cannot regulate everything, but at least be present, okay? Be present in their life. Give them your time, give them attention. Pray for these children and do not spare the rod. Don't let us be saying, oh, is this in a civilized, we are not in a civilized world. So just talk to him. There are sometimes that talk did not enter their head and you need to infuse it with some discipline, okay? Do not spare the rod. Please don't spoil your children and say, we're not in a generation where they don't beat children again. They don't this and that. Yeah, they don't beat children again nowadays. In fact, I'm not a fan of beating children. But when I feel like I need to use that form of discipline for whatever action or whatever point or whatever it is I'm saying I want you to stick, I'm going to use it. Because at the end of the day, it's you they will disgrace. It's your name they will call because they will ask them who is their mother. And you know, this your bad day that will say, when a child is good, it belongs to the father. If the other way around, it's the mother. It's definitely like, it's so true. So please, mothers especially, I know this is not supposed to be gender stereotype and we, shifting blames. But I mean, you as a wife, you have a role to play. You are the potter of that house. You brought that child first. So therefore, you should be able to pray whatever bad influence, whatever bad behavior, whatever it is that might want to be manifesting in that child's life, pray it out. So that at the end of the day, they are not going to start calling your name that how did you train these children? How did you do this? So that's just what I want to say. Boarding house is not something that everybody should run away from. Okay? Boarding house is good, depending on whatever style that you want. For me, I wouldn't just advise that you send your children to send your children at a young age to boarding school, okay? Let them be mature a bit, let them receive some training, let them receive some discipline. I'm stressing on that discipline because if you do not discipline your child and they end up disgracing your family name, anyway, my heart goes out to Sylvester family. It's painful that they lost a child, a very promising one at that. And I pray that the Lord will comfort them. And I love the other way the story is tilting towards, saying that if the family had, contacted a prominent lawyer in Nigeria to defend the case. And I really, really hope that this case is not just going to be swept under the carpet like it has always been. Because I feel like we've gotten to that point where news in Nigeria actually makes you desensitized. Like you hear one news today, you are so like you're burnt up and you're burning about it, and tomorrow it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, this is well. Like we're no longer moved with news that happens around us. It's like we're now becoming familiar to bad things. God should have mercy on us in this Nigeria. We're becoming familiar with bombings, becoming familiar with kidnapping, becoming familiar with death, becoming, like people do not even see it as something that you just tell them something happened and be like, oh, yeah. So it is what I mean. I just pray God visit this country. I pray God help every one of us to be better at whatever it is. It doesn't cost you anything to be kind. It doesn't cost you anything. That's I didn't want to say cheapest because it doesn't cost you. So why won't you be kind? Okay? So please, let's be kind to one another. Do not forget to say a word of prayer for Sylvester's family. And for the poor boy, I pray that your gentle soul rest in perfect peace. And for parents out there, I pray that God will give you everything that you need to train up these young ones that has been entrusted in our hands, with everything that we need for them to, be a good ambassador of the family, be a good citizen of the country as well, and be a good ambassador of the kingdom of God in Jesus' name. So guys, if you're new here, welcome to the family. This is not like the normal content, but we just have to do what we have to do. When we have to lend our voice, we have to. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.